Welcome to Timber&Terra. I'm Glenn, and we're going to replace a cable. This is a cable to my winch. I think I've had this winch maybe 4 years, 5 years, something like that. Anyhow, in a recent video I posted, the cable broke. That's the end of it. I cut it off. It broke about 40 feet in, so I had about 120 feet left, which is on the reel now in there. And I just put a temporary end on it, a couple cable clamps and a hook. But I did get my new cable in. I've never replaced one before. It looks relatively simple. There's just that one bolt. This is the end of the cable. So I hope it's as simple as it looks. Undo the cable and pull it out, and then I'm guessing putting the new one in will be a bit more challenging than taking the old one out. There's another threaded hole in there. Wonder if this is intended to have two. That doesn't look like, in fact, the threads look like they're painted, so it doesn't look like there was ever a bolt in there. But I'm curious about that. I mean, this doesn't really do much, really, just to hold it on. I think it's really the wraps on the reel that provide the friction against the pulling force. In this particular case, this is a 11,000 pound winch. Well, that's loose enough. We'll see if we can get it out. There's the end of the cable. So you get out almost to the end. Most of this cable is really good, but you get out near where it busted, which is obviously right here. A lot of the frayed ends. So there's probably 120 feet of really good cable. I don't really have a use for it, but I'm not going to toss it. Cut the bad ends, the worst of the material off, tape it so it doesn't unravel, and just set it aside. So this end did not come taped, but I did tape it on the end so I can thread it through where I need to. I hope with less difficulties. Saved me a lot of time unbolting and rebolting these if I put these on first, I think. This has to go sort of straight down, so I could take this bolt off. Let's see if I can do one of these twisties. Oh yeah. So it's probably hard to see in there, but there's a roll right here. I'm rolling. And it goes like this. So that's a brake. What that allows me to do is when I pull this, there's some weight with those in particular. That brake is activated when there's no tension on here, which allows weight to hang on here. That's adjustable. But then when you pull on it, that makes this lever that rolls up top there. It pulls this lever this way and it releases the brake. So in order for that to happen, the cable has to be on this side. Because if it's on the other side, when you pull it taut, it's not going to move that. So now I need to fish it through to the opposite side. So you can turn that lever that I just showed is sort of providing some resistance. Like I said, that's adjustable, but it's obviously not a brake intended to hold any logs you might have on the winch. That's done by this ratchet and this little lever. I wonder if I have too much tape on here. Let me just sort of gauge it by going in the top here. That should fit in. I guess this bolt needs to back off quite a bit more. There we go. Guess the ratchet would have been a little bit quicker. Someday I want to get a set of ratcheting wrenches. Right now I don't have them. Alright, so hopefully you can see down there that the cable is right there and this lever. So right now it's slack, so there's some resistance on this. I can't really push it easily. But when I pull on the cable, you can see that it allows that to turn easily. So once I get this wound up, then I'll show you the functionality of that in practice. So you can see this drifting down, so I need to adjust that. But that's what the purpose of that brake is. And I've taken the adjustment is done right there. So that allows this to hold this steady, but then when I want to pull it, it releases the brake as soon as I put any additional tension on this. So before this was drifting down slowly. That's nice. So I don't think I recorded actually taking the new spool off and winding it into the winch. You didn't miss much. I just had to untwist it as it went because it was in that coil, and then when you straighten it out it wants to untwist, sort of like an extension cord twist when you try to coil it. So this is on the spool loosely. Wire rope does the best when it's wound up under tension on a spool like that. So I'm gonna go out, find a good tree to hitch it to, unwind it all the way, and then wind it back up under tension. So this tree is a quaking aspen popple that I'm going to cut down anyhow. I don't really think it'll damage the bark too much, but just in case, I chose a tree that I don't care if it lives or dies because it's coming down. Now I'm just going to go slowly because I don't want to come to the end under power, because if I do, I'll probably rip the cable out of that bolted connection that I made there at the very end. Basically at the end. Now we'll engage the PTO. Now with the tractor in neutral, I'll just pull ourselves back to the tree, the power of the winch. So that seems to be wound in there fairly tightly. So I have some of this lube. I don't have a camper nor a slide out, but I think I got this pretty cheap somewhere. But anyhow, it's just lubricant. Not going to hurt to spray a bunch on there. But hopefully I don't get it on any brake shoes. I really love this. So much better than a hook on the end to sort of wrap it around. This is just really nice. So I have nice new paint to wear off. So let's go pull something. It is a new day, and as you might have guessed, a cold day. I think the temperature is 8 or 9 degrees Fahrenheit above zero. So it's a little bit colder than I prefer. Let me get out of the sun. But it's not going to change much warmth-wise for the next week. So if I'm going to do any work, I have to put up with this weather. So that's fine. My objective is to take this tree down. This is a red maple. It grew in a very awkward way. If I was to just cut it, it's leaning too hard for me to force it with wedges or anything any other way than into those two trees. One is a fir, which I don't care about, but the one just beyond that is a nice red spruce. And right behind that tree, right there, is a white cedar. So I don't want the cedar or the spruce to be damaged. So the first use of the new cable will be to pull it this way. Right in front of me here, underneath the snow, is frozen water or ice. My wife is here to help, and I'm not sure she wants me to walk on it because she's sort of like that. So I'll drag the cable here. This is only about 10-15 feet. I should be able to throw the cable across there. And what I'd like to do is throw the cable up in that little crotch with that weird branches that grows off to the side. If not, then I'll just choke it as high up as I can reach. Pull it this way. The tractor is far enough that way. So I'm not worried about the tree damaging the tractor if it falls. Well, it should fall in the direction of the tractor because that's how it's going to be pulled. If only I was a rodeo cowboy, this would be really easy. Oh. So before I cut the back cut, I'm going to start the tractor, put some tension on this cable, and lock the winch. So this is nice and tight. It's being held by this ratchet with that little pawl sticking in there. So this is on the ground, but it could slide, so I do have the parking brakes locked so the rear wheels cannot turn. But there's plenty of tightness, there's plenty of, I guess, taut force, if you will, on that. I did realize after I was talking on here last that I didn't have to walk across the ice. I could just sort of scoot around it. It's a little bit slippery there, as you might have noticed, but keep my wife happy by not going on the ice, and you know, keep my shoulders intact, not trying to throw the wire rope across. All right, so now let's cut the back, and we'll see if it'll go over by itself or if I need to pull it some more. Well, that went well. You can see the trees there that I wanted to preserve. The tallest one's the spruce there to the right and the white cedar to the left. That fir in front of it I'll probably take down. It's just a junk tree. So I'm guessing the ice is probably thick enough because the falling tree didn't break through. On the edge here though, there is some water there now. So I don't know how much of this tree I'm going to be able to salvage for firewood. There'll probably be some. I'm sure the trunk is okay, maybe up to here. This is questionable, looks a little bit punky. But this section here, that was sort of the tallest branch, which looked the most alive. I'll probably have at least a 16-footer in there. So I'll cut this up, clean it up, and we'll call this job done. Well, that worked out well. I'm happy with that. So my new cable works fine. Got a junk tree out of the way that I wanted. And I was able to enjoy some single-digit Fahrenheit weather. So all is good. I appreciate you watching this video and hope you stay tuned for more.